A city skyline glows against the orange sunset as birds soar through the calm evening air. A chilling scene unfolds as a fallen celebrity lies motionless while devastated fans mourn his tragic fate. Reports say died at Square under supernatural circumstances, with his extreme fans even paying the price. A devoted fan kneels beside, shocked and grieving. Tension filled the car as two anxious young women stared at their phones and absorbed the shocking news. Disbelief washed over the dark-haired young woman as she processed shocking demise. Said she had watched his concert just yesterday. Qin wondered whether someone had assassinated and heard that Shadow had already killed him 3 times in game. Wondered how game abilities could appear in reality, her voice full of uncertainty. Dread hung in the air as the young observer sat in the back seat, staring at the phone in disbelief and piecing together the clues that pointed to Shadow. A heavy silence enveloped the somber city scene, with a parked taxi standing witness to the grief. Qin mourned his brother's death, feeling as if all light had left his world. Determination surged within the dark-haired young man as he sat in the taxi, thinking about the connection between game powers and reality. He wanted to grow stronger and draw closer to Shadow, no matter the cost. A determined woman gestured toward the other, saying that from this moment on she had only one goal. Looked distressed, and her worried companion reassured her, saying that avenging brother would only make the pain worse. Qin ate a bowl of noodles, savoring a quiet moment amid the chaos surrounding death. Qin reflected on the game's rules, realizing that energy consumption still affected players despite their invincibility in reality. A smartphone vibrated on the table, its buzzing cutting through the tense atmosphere. A smartphone screen lit up, revealing an urgent message that demanded immediate attention. Qin read the message, feeling a wave of anxiety wash over him. Fatty warned him that he would be fired if he didn't respond quickly. Yang explained her past, describing her former life in the guild, while Qin listened intently, his curiosity piqued. A tense conversation unfolded against the city skyline, where Qin shared his frustrations with Fatty. Fatty mocked Qin about his struggles with. Qin plotted against, aware that her departure would complicate his plans. He needed her gone before she left for North America. Qin held the phone, astonished to hear a taunting voice claim they had survived the game and earned enough to buy a house. Qin stood resolutely at the table, ending the call with a firm declaration to cease all communications with the caller. The bustling street echoed with the weight of impending chaos as Qin reflected on the urgency of returning to level up. Dismissed her brother's need for an apology, insisting she had sold her life force for $2 million to the group. Qin handed a book to, who seemed focused on her device and ready to make a deal. Qin cast a healing spell towards Shadow, determined to support her through the turmoil they faced. A cloaked figure stood beside a hooded figure, their silhouettes contrasted against a fiery sunset. Qin suggested that the hooded figure might slowly begin to trust him. A vengeful woman towered over an injured man, her knife glinting ominously in the dim light. She shouted her intent to avenge TM's death. A mysterious figure relayed a message, claiming the big boss dismissed the ability as useless and suggested selling it for cash instead. A cloaked figure conjured swirling energy in a barren landscape, the air thick with tension and mystery. A cloaked figure warned urgently as danger approached, his voice cutting through the chaos. A cloaked figure expressed urgency, realizing the approaching threat was far beyond typical challenges. He feared for his survival amidst the desolate landscape. A menacing creature emerged, its many limbs moving with an ominous grace as Qin sprinted away in sheer terror. Qin shouted for someone to run, warning that the creature had its eyes locked on them. Qin reacted sharply, alarmed as he braced for the impending strike from a threatening creature. Chaos erupted around a focused and alert man as debris flew from a sudden explosion, shaking the ground beneath him. Qin observed carefully from behind a rock, analyzing the golden arthropod, a level 8 boss with level 2 anti-stealth abilities. A monstrous figure loomed menacingly, its sharp features and glowing eyes instilling fear in a determined young man with dark hair. He assessed the threat posed by the creature, realizing his stealth abilities were useless. A ferocious and menacing monster roared at everyone, its multiple arms wielding swords, creating an atmosphere of pure terror. Qin unleashed a powerful energy blast at an unseen target, determination radiating from him as he faced the chaos ahead. Tension filled the air as Qin prepared to attack, surrounded by shadowy figures that obscured his vision. He contemplated the effectiveness of his legendary skill against a perceptive enemy. Qin needed to identify the real threat among the shadows. He resolved to ensure his target could sustain damage, recalling a name that sparked his gratitude. A dark shadow loomed over a determined character who stood ready to face the unseen threat ahead. The shadowy entity struck, reducing the golden arthropod's health significantly. A poison dart flew through the air, striking the victim with a splatter of green. Qin analyzed the dart's impact, realizing its silver level would not be very effective. A menacing red monster loomed before a determined young man with dark hair, its presence igniting a tense atmosphere. He assessed the creature, realizing he needed to improve his stealth level. A panicked and alert character shouted a warning, her voice cutting through the tense atmosphere. A fierce energy erupted as a confident and determined young man with dark hair unleashed a powerful attack against the shadowy figure. A boastful demon figure declared that the golden joint was far easier to handle compared to other formidable bosses he had faced. A shocked young man with dark hair exclaimed in disbelief about the fleeing golden boss. A tense atmosphere enveloped the scene as a determined young man with dark hair focused intently on the ominous glowing object in his hands. A determined young man with dark hair fell towards a green beam of energy shooting upward. A victorious young man with dark hair stood confidently, energy glowing from his hand after defeating the formidable golden arthropod. A determined young man with dark hair held up a glowing blue object, excitement radiating from him as he exclaimed about earning evolution points. A cloaked figure eagerly raised a hand, a skill book floating enticingly nearby, promising new power and strategies. He excitedly considered how the skill book could enhance his abilities against bosses. A confident young man with dark hair evolved the blacklight shield, envisioning new adventures in high-level areas. A confident young man with dark hair proudly revealed his enhanced abilities to the group. He noted that his flames were now significantly stronger. A cloaked figure explained the basics of a gold skill book, detailing how frost ejection could unleash an ice ball. A skeptical female character questioned the steep price. A confident young man with dark hair calmly explained that the frost ejection skill, now at level 7, boosts damage by over 40%. A cloaked woman excitedly revealed her recent purchase, claiming it granted her 800 days of life. The onlooker listened with curiosity. A cloaked figure plotted to gather information, determined to spread news in the small town about the elusive boss in Golden Level. A skeptical young man with dark hair listened as the speaker mentioned a skill book from, questioning its value with doubt. A tense atmosphere filled the room as Qin reacted to the conversation about Shadow and the skill book. He expressed his skepticism about the situation. The tension thickened in the desolate landscape as a curious and determined young man questioned the boss about recent events. A determined young man with dark hair held a blue object, confronting the hooded figure who proclaimed his friend's murder. A tense confrontation unfolded as Qin challenged the authority, questioning the motives behind the impending arrests. The grand building loomed under a sunset sky, casting long shadows that whispered of secrets and sorrow. A cloaked figure turned to face the group, revealing an air of mystery that heightened the tension in the tavern. Qin confronted the expert with a defiant expression and an accusing tone. The expert smirked, seemingly unfazed by the accusation regarding Song's death. The tension thickened as the cloaked figure confirmed the statement, an assured presence that captivated the room. A confident character confronted Qin with a playful smile, revealing that he was their prime suspect in a thorough investigation. A cloaked figure pointed toward a glowing blue object, revealing the truth about the conspiracy and its implications. Qin contemplated how his past actions could alter everything. In a lavish setting, a casually confident young man discussed his recent luck with platinum gear and skill books, his friends listening intently. A tense negotiation unfolded as a skeptical young man questioned Captain N's decision to accept the price without haggling. A confident young man displayed a glowing object, and the amused Captain N laughed, appreciating his decisiveness. A recent duel stirred serious conversations about investments and potential benefits for the government. Qin explained the value of the 10,000 pesos allocated for the initiative. Another character expressed concern about the repercussions of the mountain session's strength. A different character questioned the government's intentions behind the funding. Qin dismissed the speculation, but confirmed he used in-game power to eliminate threats. A cloaked figure warned the group about the urgency of their mission and the looming threat of increased resistance. A swirling magical vortex captivated the attention of the curious and attentive young man. Qin observed the magical force, his astonishment evident in his expression. An intrigued and cautious female character looked on, her curiosity piqued. An apprehensive and alert male character watched closely, concern etched on his face. Qin proposed a new strategy too, suggesting they split teams for leveling to enhance efficiency. Qin responded affirmatively, his serious expression conveying determination as he prepared for the next phase of their mission. The clear blue sky overlooked a large building where a focused and authoritative man issued commands to his team. Qin insisted that everyone reach level 10. He ordered someone to log off and report the intel. A mysterious figure in a hooded cloak captured their attention, drawing both curiosity and concern from the onlookers. Qin observed Shadow setting up shop again. The unknown character noted that this time, Shadow was buying instead of selling. A mocking voice rang out, challenging Shadow's presence, filled with a confident smugness. A tense atmosphere settled as a cloaked figure offered a lucrative deal to a confident and persuasive man. He suggested cherishing the opportunity presented to him. A shocking revelation pierced the air, igniting confusion and disbelief among the group. An unknown character informed Qin that Shadow had killed both Song and the young mistress. A tense confrontation unfolded, with one young man revealing shocking news about Li's death, leaving others in shock and disbelief. Qin, restrained in a dimly lit basement, recounted his torment of being locked away and forced to grind for others. A sadistic figure with clown makeup laughed, celebrating Li's death while reflecting on his past judgments of others. A tense exchange erupted as a young man with dark hair confronted another about betrayal and forces beyond control. The panicked figure insisted he had been forced into his actions. A hooded figure dismissed the panicked figure, claiming authorities would handle him. Then, a cunning character proposed a trade for valuable coordinates linked to a powerful entity. A tense confrontation unfolded as a nervous figure warned the group about Qin's deadly reputation. He cautioned them to stay away, mentioning her history of killing players. An indifferent woman scoffed, downplaying the game's dangers and sharing her own ruthless strategy. A frustrated young woman with dark hair lamented missing her flight and expressed disdain for the local men standing nearby. A smug young man with dark hair boasted to Miss about their superiority, hinting at an exciting experience awaiting her in reality. A group of characters stood in a dimly lit alley, the air thick with contempt and whispers of recent deaths. An arrogant and dismissive figure questioned if the worthless Song had truly died. She recalled their brief encounter, noting how he had fallen within a minute. With a smirk, she dismissed him as nothing but trash, her disdain palpable in the shadows. A confident woman with a smirk appeared, contemplating her strategy to meet the elusive figure known as Shadow, ranked #1 globally. The atmosphere grew tense as a determined character with dark hair prepared to log off for an important call. Moments later, he decided to reach out to Shadow, considering an offer of 3,000 days of. A malicious figure smirked ominously, threatening that Qin would soon be dead, relishing the moment of rejection. If you'd like to see your favorite titles retold, leave a comment, and I'll be sure to pick some of them up from time to time. Also, let me know which video format you like more, long videos or short ones. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you again soon.